Hi,
Oh, hi.
we're here for a tour.
Oh, cool. Well, come and join me if you like.
Thank you. So what's your job?
I'm the education manager here at Sydney Zoo. So I program everything that we teach for schools, and then I run a team of teachers.
So what is this room we're in?
This is where all of our ambassador animals live, and I'm just checking on our lizards at the moment in our beautiful big pit here and see who is going to come join me on a class.
And so they live in here, do they? Like when they're not out on an exhibition?
That's right. They do live in here, and they spend time outside as well. So they get natural sunlight and time outside, and then they come and join us on some of our classes.
So when you say you're an educator, what does that mean?
So we do syllabus-linked workshops for schools when they come here, and so I help write those programs. I talk to teachers in the area and make sure we're doing what they need and what they'd like to see on excursions here at the zoo.
So are you a teacher or did you study education?
I did. I am a science teacher, but I also spent about 10 years doing zookeeping, so I got to combine both of my passions into my job.
The perfect job. So tell us who's in here. Who are these guys?
I've got some shingleback lizards in here. I've got Gaia, I've got Buster, and I've got Sleepy.
And so what does a typical day in the life look like for you?
So first thing, we come in, we make sure bookings haven't changed for the day. If it's a really wet day, we might get some schools that cancel, but we then will check all our resources. So I was just checking one of our cameras actually. We've got a thermal imaging camera, making sure that it's going to work the way it needs to for our classes. We go and set up all our resources, and then we come and make sure we've got our ambassador animals ready. So I was just checking who I'm going to get. I'm going to pet pack a few animals today and take them with us to prepare for a lesson.
So what is the thermal tracker? What does that do?
So this is a thermal camera. We actually use it with our high school students to talk about thermoregulation. So our animals, like our reptiles, need external sources of heat to regulate their body temperature and cool it as well.
And so why is it important to have education programs at zoos?
And our vision as a zoo as a whole is actually to connect people with animals so that we can have a sustainable future for wildlife. So it's an integral part. So this is Harriet, and Harriet is going to be joining me with a stage 4 class a little bit later. So I can see Harriet is looking ready to go.
And so how did you learn all of the hands-on aspects of the job? Was that once you started working at a zoo?
Yeah, so my very first job in the industry was working for a mobile zoo, straight out of my conservation degree at university. And that's where I learned a lot of my handling experience from. And then I had to come up with the strategies and the ways we were going to handle animals here at the zoo. So I took best practice from a lot of places and research, and that's what we put into how we deal with animals here at the zoo and how I train my team.
And what do you like about your job?
Oh, my favourite thing is probably the reactions for students and teachers, but we see these expressions of awe and wonder and silence, contemplating things when animals come up and see students for the first time. We've also had experiences where students don't know what things like a giraffe is, and to me that's such an inspiration for them to come and learn about these big animals that we don't have here in Australia. So this is Bailey. She's a Centralian carpet python, or some people call them a Brettles python. And so she's from Central Australia. We don't find them here in Sydney. But she's such a stunning example of a carpet python, one of our native species. And she's a really big hit when we introduce her to audiences.
So are carpet pythons safe?
They are, yeah. So she's non-venomous. She does have 60 plus teeth in her mouth, but they're all little teeth. And they're all designed and adapted to hold on to prey, so she can then coil around it and constrict it so she can eat it. We make sure that it's always a positive interaction when they're coming out with a human. And if she's showing any signs to me that she doesn't want to be out here, then I would put her straight back, and that would be a day off for her. So we're always listening and watching for our animals as well.
So where's Bailey going?
So we're going to take her with us to a place we call the Hollow, which is our teaching space, so that we can introduce her to some Year 7 students.
Great, okay. So if someone wanted to get into this line of work, what kind of advice do you have for them? How do they get involved?
I'd basically tell them make sure they're really passionate about it, and you always share things you're passionate about easier. Hi, Ernie. And then also make sure you've got resources to help you engage with different audiences, because we teach preschools all the way up to tertiary groups, and Ernie's going to come say hi. And then try and make things as hands-on as possible. People of all ages always learn better when everything's a little bit more hands-on. That'd be my best advice.
It looks like you have the best job in the world.
I do, I think I do.
Well, thank you so much. We'll leave you to it.
Thank you so much for coming.
Bye.